I'm just trying to human. Hey y'all, welcome back to Falling Off Curves. I am your host, Kat, and as always, I am thrilled that you have decided to spend some time here in the Curbosphere with me today. We're gonna jump in today, y'all. Today's episode is called Wait, Am I the Pattern? I'm gonna walk y'all through this because listen, I wasn't quite ready for this either, if I'm being honest. I was sitting in my car, minding my good business, and the following thought just kind of popped in my head. And said thought was, what if I'm not just attracted to a pattern? What if I'm someone else's pattern? And I kind of just froze there and I sat in silence, hands on the steering wheel, literally gripping them at 10 and 2, trying to like breathe through it because it kind of hit me square in the chest. I just, I realized that I wasn't just observing a cycle, I was actually a participant in it. And dare I even say, maybe a creator of the thing. So let me just tell y'all what I've been sitting with since then. And before I jump in, I I've said this before. I exclusively date men, so I will always talk from my experiences, but there is absolutely room for role reversal here. So to my male listeners, stick with me because this is a human situation here. All right, so I know over like the last two episodes of this season, we've been talking about me dating, of course, and I have gone into, I spent some time breaking down the like the archetypes, the types of men I have historically attracted or allowed myself to be entertained by, whichever one we want to call it. But typically, they have been, emotionally unavailable, kind of hot and cold, they'll say the right things at first and then, disappearing, the ghosting thing, the breadcrumbing thing, right? And again, this isn't a disparagement to anyone's personhood, character. Everybody's going through stuff, right? Just talking about my experiences. So historically, I have attracted men who um are emotionally unavailable. Daddy issues, we talked about all that, right? We all know the type. And I really thought I was really self-aware about that. I thought I had my own patterns clocked, like, okay, girl, we see this is what you pick. We gonna pick different, make a new mistake, dummy. But I never actually like thought what version of me do they keep meeting? And what role do I play in their actual story? Like, am I the one? Am I the one they walk away from saying, why do I always pick a woman like this? Granted, I can't answer that question because I am not them. That is their main character story. But it made me think about some things, right? Am I am I the emotionally intense one that another person isn't ready for? Am I the person who helps them grow but doesn't stay? Am I the person or like the safe place who never actually lets anyone in? Honestly, because I always thought I was emotionally deep. I'll go ahead and say it. I think that I am an emotionally deep person. I have a good emotional depth. And I'm not saying that I don't. I do, and I was, and I still am. But having this thought, I realized that I have been swimming in their waters. I've been swimming in their deep waters, but never my own with them. So I'm busy learning him, whoever him is, the collective him, right? Or for my fellow male listeners, you are busy learning her, right? So I'm busy learning him. I am studying his wilderness. I am decoding the silence. I am understanding the wounds. Daggone it, I could probably write a dissertation on this man, insert any man at this point, and this man's childhood, his fears, his triggers, right? I can find the wounds versus the scars. I know how to talk nice around them, really in a very real and genuine way, very authentically. But I never actually allowed him or them to learn me. I never I never gave them a chance to walk through my wilderness. Be talking about meeting people halfway. Yeah, I done crossed the entire bridge and then set up camp in his world and his island on his island, and mine remained untouched. And it wasn't that I didn't want to be known. Like we all say, we want to be known. We want people to know who we are. I wasn't purposely running from being known. It's that I didn't know how to invite someone in without curating the entire experience. One of my good friends, he has a friend, and they were talking, and he said that that friend of his said, "I'm done curating relationships. I'm not going to curate any more relationships." Yeah, that one got me. Another brick thrown at my chest because I realized that's what I've been doing. I've been like curating the space. I've been curating comfort and curating understanding and guiding the emotional journey so that it looked like connection, but it never risked exposure of myself. And the wild part, like in that curation of the whole thing, y'all, is that is that a gentle manipulation? I think that's a type of manipulation. Totally, totally not on purpose. It's really emotional avoidance. It's like this sleight of hand. And it makes me think it says like, look how emotionally available I am while hiding while hiding the fact that I'm actually not letting you touch my stuff. What's that man say? Unhand me now. Do not touch me. And I had no idea I was even doing this. So I made myself so busy in that man's world so I wouldn't have to be vulnerable in my own. And I thought it was depth when actually it was just distance. And that's hard to grapple with because I never it wasn't that was never my intention. It was so never my intention. I didn't do it to purposely be emotionally avoidant. In my mind, I'm like, yeah, I'll go and visit his island and learn his wilderness and do all that stuff. And then once we're finished doing that, or when we're feeling safe and we're feeling good, for real safe, for real good. Again, not play, not even real manipulation, and understanding that really feeling safe and comfortable to be emotionally open and transparent. Once we're doing that, yeah, we can come on back to my side and my island and we can traverse it and we can get to know me. And it never happened. It never happened that way. And so now I'm wondering, how many fellas have walked away from me thinking like she's cool, but I never actually knew her. Like, I mean, they may have felt cared for, they may have felt seen, they may have felt understood, but did they actually feel invited? Did I actually ever open the door and say, "Hey, come on in and learn me"? Ew. Mm, that feels weird when I actually say it out loud. But story time, because I actually did once. I did say, "Come on in and learn me." And let me tell you what happened. So this is actually pretty recent within like the last year or so. Um, we talked about previously like the little boys, our inner children, like our innermost children, our little boys and our little girls, and how we protect them and love them and care for them and all that good stuff. And so I'd met somebody and we just got really close talking. It was just easy. We talked about all the stuff, all kinds of stuff. It was just really fun. And I remember at some point he was like, "Well, what is it? Like, what is the thing? Like, what's happening?" And we wound up having a conversation about my little girl. And I'm sitting on his couch crying because I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'm letting you see my little girl." And listen, dude, that is huge. Like, that is such a big deal for me to, oh gosh, like, you are in the garden with my little girl who I have worked so hard to protect and love. And She's in this beautiful garden with high walls, and I mean, it's gorgeous, it's big, it's wonderful, but I protect her fiercely, and here you are trying to gain access to her, and oh my gosh, I might actually want you to. I'm wait, is this me being seen? And I'm literally like on his couch in full blown tears, y'all, like tears. And he was great. Give me a hug, and it was very gentle and really great through the whole thing. So I did once. And it didn't work out. Like months later, it didn't work out. And if I'm being honest, it made me think, do I want to do that again? Do I want to do that again? The answer is actually yes. You do the work. I've been doing the work. I want to do it again. But back to the thing. So to be fair, I did do it once. I did it once. It was a very good experience. It was a really good learning experience, and I got to experience myself in a way that I hadn't got to experience myself previously, which was cool. So big ups to him. He knows what I'm talking about. Big up to you, my guy, for helping me have that experience. It was wonderful. But let's go back to the point here. So me saying that I ever opened the door and say, come in and learn me. I did that one time and it was fine. And we moved forward and I'm a better person for it. But the truth is previously, historically, prior to that moment, I realized I really didn't, and I didn't do it on purpose. I just didn't let them earn access. And this sounds crazy, but I kind of like denied them the privilege and really the pleasure of like exploring my wilderness, my island, my waters, navigating the waters of cat, my wilderness, my mess. And you know, when I don't know, when someone doesn't when I don't give, we don't give people the opportunity to show up for us, when we don't give them an occasion to rise to, I think maybe they leave feeling just as unseen as I did or as we do, right? And it's really ironic to me because here I was trying so hard to be the safe place or create this safe environment. Um, and I actually didn't. I never actually created one, at least created a safe space for me. That person may, and I can't, of course, speak for the other person, but because they may have felt safe. And if they did, I think that is beautiful. I don't ever want to take that away. That's a wonderful thing if that person felt safe, but not but. It's a wonderful thing that that person felt safe. Um, and I didn't create one for myself. I didn't create a safe distance or a length of space for him to come to my side. Right? And in doing that or not doing that, I became a perpetuator of my own pain. And I'm wondering like why no one saw me. But and I'm realizing I probably actually never showed myself. And here we are. What do I do with that? What does this mean? Like I sat with this for so long. I know I missed the episode. I skipped an episode on purpose accidentally, if that makes any sense. Because I wanted to talk about this last week, but it hadn't finished like finding a home in my being, if that makes any sense at all. What do I do? You know, when you're not trying to be, when you realize that you have been manipulative. That like it feels so gross to me. I never meant to create that. Like here I am. It's almost like pulling strings of a puppet master, and I wasn't trying to do that at all. And then, wow, I'm actually still kind of, as you see, stumbling through this, talking about falling off of curbs, stumbling through trying to figure out what does this actually mean, because then it honestly makes me feel like I was being, you know, disingenuous, like I wasn't being genuine. And another same friend of mine, he's been like, why isn't anyone genuine anymore? Like what is going on with people? And so hearing that and truly deeply believing that I I'm a genuine person, I try my hardest to be very genuine. For folks who know me, y'all know the level of indifference I can get to is kind of insane. Either I care about it or I don't care about it. And when I say I don't care about it, I don't mean if someone's getting hurt or harmed or anything. We care about humans and safety and well-being in life. But the indifference of Well, if I can't change it, then onward. Let us move forward. Um, and so I don't I ooh, it feels so gross to feel like I've been manipulating people. I we okay, so let's go back. This is maybe helping me. I'm talking through this in real time. Total stream of consciousness here, y'all. Walk with me, if you will. I remember us talking about um how we can or how I would pursue being chosen, right? I want pick oh goodness, I hate to say pick me, that ridiculous social media hashtag pick me. But no, like we all want someone to choose us. We want someone to say, I want you, because we all want to belong somewhere, right? And so in the breadcrumbing, which from last episode, which would say, okay, do more, do more, do more. And I'm back there because and me again trying to understand them and trying to fix and heal, um, never giving them the chance to walk into my room, never traversing my island. You know, that it's blowing my mind, y'all, because I never considered myself as an emotionally unavailable person. I mean, what it sounds like I'm describing, listening to myself, it is the softest form of emotional unavailability. Like the kind that masquerades as presence and as care and as ride or die devotion, but it still never requires me to fully be seen or held. And and granted, I don't this also helps me too because it wasn't necessarily that I'm clingy. I'm not a clingy person. I was just reaching across the bridge and hoping someone would meet me there. But again, I'm always doing the reaching. I'm always walking the whole daggone bridge. I'm always working to find the key to unlock them. And I've never gave do they even think I have a do I have a room? Do I even have oh my goodness gracious, do I have a room? Okay, let me go back here. Gosh, that is deeply heartbreakingly human, y'all. I'm having a full moment here. Um, again, same friend I've been talking about for this episode is having a really great experience dating a person who is well, generally well, self-aware aware of herself. And when I say not broken, me air quoting broken, we're all a little bit damaged. But she's really just a whole person. And she's very well, and she is in the thing she needs to be in. And I remember talking to my friend and saying, what are you gonna do? Because I let me caution you that you may feel very bored very quickly because you have been so used to all of your previous relationships, my friend, have been with folks who are unwell and you have been a fixer. And so what does it mean for you to show up without your handy bag, right? With not as Bob the Builder, not as Dr. So and so with your doctor's bag to fix, to heal, to mend. What does that mean? What does it mean when you actually just have to show up? Here I am telling him that, and I'm having to deal with the same thing. What does it mean for me to actually have to show up when I have to take off the doctor's white coat that I should have never put on? Let's be honest. I am nobody's savior. Honey, I can barely save myself. Can't, not even barely, can't. Doing the best that I can. Shouldn't have put on that white coat. Shouldn't have introduced that therapy lounge chair. And to be fair, I'm not talking about us supporting people that we care for. We support, we encourage, we listen, we give advice when needed. You know, we are that's the beauty of relationship, platonic and romantic. We are there to be that person, to help that person, you know what I mean? Not that. I'm talking, the fix the world, save your girl complex thing. W- By doing that, they ain't never seen me in street clothes, y'all. Only ever in my work clothes. Work clothes that I should have never put on again. And so now that I am aware of this, I feel like what is that old story there was? The emperor, not the Emperor's New Groove. Goodness gracious, y'all know the story. The Emperor's New Clothes. There it is. And he thought he had on the best outfit in the world. That man was butt naked. And so I feel like with this realization, because as the old folks say, when you know better, you do better. And I can't not now know this. Like my mom says, you can't unring a bell. Once you know, you know. And I am now responsible and accountable for what I know about me, which means I can't keep trying to play puppet master. I can't keep walking all the way across the bridge um, because I know now why I'm doing it. Now we can walk across. No, I can't. No, I can't. I was gonna say we can walk across. Oh, literally, y'all. Oh my goodness, we can walk. I can walk across the bridge, and we can do that. And I can say, "Come on back." No, no, Catherine, no. Like halfway, girl, halfway. And then, oh man, another realization just now, real time. I appreciate y'all's patience as we walk through this together. This is how y'all know this stuff is not scripted. This is really just happening all at one time. This is how I know when I get to the middle of the bridge, we're back at that fear of not being chosen. Isn't it weird that there is this I feel nervousness, timidity with walking halfway to the bridge and hoping someone meets me halfway there? That's wild because if I walk all the way to their side, I'm here. You know what I mean? Here I am. And I'm a pretty good island traverser, I must say so. I am pretty cool about appreciating someone's space and their waters and their wilderness because I really think people are very interesting. Very not like zoo interesting, spectator interesting. We all know people who just I'm just here for the plot. I just want to hear what happens. No, I don't we're not people in cages or glass walls and windows. Like I want to be a part of that person's world. But now here I am having to wait at the in the middle of the bridge. And then the question really becomes, what if they never come and meet me here? What if I have to walk back from the middle of that bridge back to my own island by myself? Golly. What's silly about that? And I'm calling myself silly. What is absolutely ridiculous about that thought is, baby, I've been walking all the way to the other side of the bridge. And when it's a no, I have to walk all the way back across by myself versus halfway. How ridiculous is that? But it's so wild when I've come to this understanding. What if no one meets me halfway? And then if they do meet me halfway, what if we walk to my side? Because once what here's the thing, y'all, in my brain, because again, I see everything in pictures. Everything is in my brain visually. Two people, let's just say we have this bridge and two people walk to meet at the middle. And naturally, once you're vibing in the middle, the middle's cool. We're getting to know each other in the middle. This is, we know once we have to take a walk to one side or the other to traverse islands and navigate waters, we're pretty vibe. The vibe is vibing in the middle of the bridge. And so we pick which side we go to first. And that's a normal, beautiful dance that happens. That should happen. And so naturally I'll probably say, let's go to your island first, right? What happens if he says no, let's go to yours? Oh goodness. All right, so let's not go down that path. That's way too scary for me right now. We go to his and we have a great time. And we don't do all the extra wilderness thing. We just have a great time on the porch. We're slow burning here. We're taking it easy. We're not rushing anything. We're just trying to be cool. And it's great. We go on a little backpack. We take a hike. And then he's like, all right, let's head across the bridge to yours, girlfriend. What if he gets to my side of the bridge and he hates it? What if it is awful? What if he's like, what fresh hell is this? What 14th level of Dante's Inferno is this? And it feels I'm having to continually remember what I have told myself in these previous episodes. I think this was 2 episodes ago at the beginning of this season. It's okay if it's a no. It is not a personal rejection. It is not abandonment. Sometimes my good girlfriend Andrea said, sometimes it really is, we're just not the right fit. And I keep having to remind myself that literally is the point of dating. I know we talked again a few episodes ago, and I said I don't know how to date. I'm learning very quickly as I'm walking through these episodes, haha, but these experiences, I'm learning very quickly what it means to date. And the beginning of dating is, do we vibe? Do we have this very superficial level of fit? If we don't, we don't. I'm cool with the top level. If we don't fit at this superficial, like surface, shallow level, we're deep as a puddle. And it's like, we kind of just don't vibe. Cool. That's not a problem for me. That's easy. It's when I guess I can't even say when he comes to my side. Goodness gracious, when I go to his side, I'm over there. And then we're in it. We're months in it, weeks in it, deep in it. Okay. Jungle, the Amazon in it. And then something happens, or we just kind of realize it's just not the right fit. Typically because something happens, if I'm being honest. Not only do I have to walk across the bridge back by myself, I got to get out of his jungle. I have to leave. I have to find my way out of his wilderness, oftentimes by myself. This is again no slight to the fella, because he didn't tell me to come over there and spend the rest of my days navigating waters. He didn't. That wasn't on him. That's on me. But imagine getting stuck. Like the tour is over. The guided tour, the exploration is over, but we are deep in wilderness still. We are far out at sea, deep blue sea type action, and it's over. It's done. We're finished. Even in the best of ways, it's done. Right? I gotta find my way back down through that wilderness, through that jungle. I gotta sail those seas back just to the bridge, and then get my tired self off of that boat, or or off of that trail, and walk across the bridge back to my side. How long have I left my side unguarded? How long have I neglected my side, my island? My how long have I done that? And to what extent? And more importantly, at what cost? That's a tough one for me. Not because it's tough, it's just I got a lot of work to do on this side. And it's cool. It's actually really cool to have gotten to this particular realization of things, because it's helping me to see myself differently. And then I'm gonna, of course, move differently and allow people into my space who want to be. Invite people onto my porch, invite people into my living room, right? And then we can talk about the different spaces, because just because you're on my porch or my living room doesn't mean what my bedroom looks like. And I don't mean that in the like sexual way, the private parts of people's inner beings. Those very private areas. Like we all know, you don't go up and you don't go to someone's house and instantly go upstairs to their bedroom. That's insane. You sit in their living room until you're invited elsewhere. I think that's what I'm talking about. But now with this understanding, oh man, I can move a little differently. I don't know how that differently will show up. I don't know if the standards will be different. I don't know if the boundaries will be different. We are real timing this in real life. So let's see. And you know what? Also, again, thank you, mom, for helping me to not grow up with like shame. Because like she says, shame, what is that doing for you, girlfriend? How's that serving you? Right. So I'm not saying this in any type of like way to shame myself, or, because growth doesn't require self-blame. It requires honesty. So I can absolutely hold grace and accountability in the same hand, and come to the truth of the matter, which is, um, I have been unintentionally emotionally guarded. I have tried to earn love through usefulness. And I have mistaken emotional labor for emotional intimacy. And now I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want curated relationships. I don't want relationships that require performance. I just want to be seen. I just want to be seen, and not just as helpful, just as me. And I want to be able to give it in spaces that and in ways that invite, not overextends. So yeah, maybe I am someone else's pattern. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe maybe there have been men who walked away from me asking themselves the same questions that I've asked myself about them, like, why does this keep happening? What am I doing wrong? And maybe not, but now I know I can leave with something to, this deeper level of awareness, and awareness creates choice, y'all. Um, because again, being emotionally deep doesn't automatically mean being emotionally available. I can swim in oceans, but if I only swim in another person's, if I never let them wade in mine, it's not intimacy. It is really just an illusion. And again, I'm not trying to manipulate anybody, but I really was trying to control the emotional outcome, and that too is a form of emotional distance. So I'm learning to stop performing depth and to start practicing actual openness. And I'm learning that healing doesn't come from it doesn't come from tending to everyone else's fires and leaving my own to go cold. Um, and I think mostly in this thing, I'm learning that I can't ask people to meet me halfway if I keep crossing the whole damn bridge myself, y'all. And that's something. Ooh, that was a wild one. Thank y'all for walking with me through this in real time. Usually I have it all, it's kind of thought out in my brain, but this was a real time episode. So thank y'all for your patience. And as always, thank you for being here with me. Thank you for walking this journey with me of becoming. And until next time, friends, stay curious, stay kind, and stay true to your own journeys. Okay, y'all, before you go, bear with me a little bit. I've been a writer for a long time. When I say writer, I just write in my journal. But I love poetry. And I've written poetry for oh my gosh, probably 20 some years. And this episode made me I wrote. This episode made me write. And I'm gonna I'm gonna share, I'm gonna be real vulnerable, and I'm gonna share this particular piece that I wrote that came from this thought of yeah, am I the pattern? So bear with me, be gentle. As Erica Badu says, I am sensitive about my stuff. So enjoy. I saw a man in need and thought I could plant the seed of healing in his broken places. Thought I could trace his pain with my fingertips and from my lips pour love like medicine into the caverns where his hurt had been. I thought I could be his healer, his pain revealer and concealer all at once, the one who hunts down his demons in the dark and leaves her mark of tenderness on every scar, who travels far into the wilderness of his wounded heart to chart a map back to wholeness. But what I found in that quest to be his best medicine, his cure, his pure salvation wrapped in skin, what I discovered within that noble mission was my own wounded condition mistaking itself for love, my own need to rise above the ache of my own emptiness by filling his. I saw his brokenness and in my own brokenness recognized a familiar hunger, not the hunger for healing, but the hunger to be needed, to be the one who succeeded where others failed, to be hailed as the woman who could love a man back to life. But love is not a knife that cuts away the past, not a cast for broken bones that never set right. Love is not the light that fixes darkness, but the witness that sits with it. It doesn't try to light the shadows on fire, but holds space for the entire spectrum of human feeling without needing to be the healing. I learned that when I try to be the why someone gets better, I become the debtor of their pain, bound by chains I forged myself from the shelf of my own unexamined need to feel like I succeed by being necessary, at being the sanctuary where broken things get mended. But healthy love doesn't try to fix, doesn't use tricks to tenderness to manipulate a man's mental state of independency. Healthy love sees without trying to change, doesn't rearrange another person's journey to make it less thorny or less complicated, less what it is and more what we wish it could be. Real love says, I see your pain, and I don't need to drain it from you to prove my worth. I don't need to give birth to a new version of you to feel like what I do matters. You are not the platter on which I serve my own healing. Your pain is not the ceiling I need to break through to feel like I love you the right way. I saw a man in need and thought love meant I should bleed for him, with him, instead of him. And that's the rim of codependency's cup. The mixed up notion that love means becoming the means by which someone else gets whole while losing your own soul in the process. Now I know that loving doesn't mean removing someone's opportunity to find their own unity, to their own path back to peace. Love doesn't lease itself out as a cure, but offers something more pure: presence without pressure, care without measure of success or failure, love without the jailer mentality that says, I'll let you love me if you let me be the key to your freedom. I saw a man in need and learned that the seed of real love grows best when I'm not trying to be blessed as his savior, but simply offering the favor of my authentic self. Not the shelf version of love that performs, but the love that warms without burning, that stays without earning points for proximity to pain, that doesn't need to gain anything from witnessing someone else's reckoning with their own shadows. That's the love that heals, the kind that reveals we're all walking each other home, not necessarily carrying each other's loads, but simply sharing the road, simply being present for whatever is, without the quiz of whether we're doing enough, whether our love is tough enough to transform someone else's storm into sunshine. Sometimes the most loving thing is not trying to bring someone back to life, but letting them wrestle with their own strife in their own time, in their own rhyme, while we stand witness to their fitness for their own journey, their own attorney in the court of their own healing. I saw a man in need and learned that love's greatest deed is not the doing, but the being present, being pleasant company for the mystery of another person's becoming, without the humming needed to be the song that makes everything belong to a happy ending I'm not responsible for writing. I'm just trying to human.